Hello friends, it's Lady Lioness. I know it's been a while since I've made my last video, probably been since about Christmas. It's now May 10th, 2022, and I took a long break, mostly because of the pandemic, and I didn't feel like I had any interesting content to contribute, and also because I was really going through a lot of stuff, and while I'm usually pretty open about what's going on with my life, I felt like I really needed to take time for myself and really figure some stuff out in this new pandemic world that we're living in. But I felt like the channel is kind of going in a very different direction than I had intended since I started it prior to the pandemic. And I've just decided to kind of create a new direction for the channel. And I thought I'd share a little bit about my ideas with you and see what you think. So mostly this channel is created for my personal friends. However, if someone else who doesn't know me wants to enjoy the videos, you're welcome to join into the videos and any discussion. So I didn't know if I was going to continue with the channel because, like I said, the original idea behind the channel was to go around and interview people and just, kind of capture life as it is for me. Then things drastically changed, and so I took some time out to figure life out for myself. And I talked to a lot of friends, and several of my friends suggested that I take you along on this journey with me. So we'll try that. So I several of my friends said I should talk about what goes on with my mitochondrial myopathy, which is a type of muscular dystrophy. And at first I didn't know if I wanted to share that because it is definitely a difficult subject for me while I'm going through it. But as I looked around on the internet and on YouTube, I couldn't find a whole lot on mitochondrial myopathy. I found lots of medical explanations and really boring, dry videos. And that was pretty much it. And there was a few people that had mitochondrial myopathy that did a few videos on it, but nothing super detailed, and I didn't feel like it gave a good, clear idea of what someone with mitochondrial myopathy would go through. So, you know, after talking to some friends, they said they'd be interested in that information, so we'll give it a try. So, as most of you know, I was diagnosed with mitochondrial myopathy, which is a muscle disease, in 2018. I had been showing signs of it prior to that, but when I finally got in to get tested for it, it takes a while for the diagnosis process. And what I was experiencing is I was starting to experience a lot of fatigue. I couldn't easily do all the things that I usually do in my life, and also started having some constant muscle pain. And mitochondrial myopathy is a very rare disease. Like muscular dystrophy is pretty rare in itself, and this type of muscular dystrophy called mitochondrial myopathy is even rarer. And then my type of mitochondrial myopathy isn't found anywhere. So what they have to do to diagnose you is they take a muscle biopsy, and they took the muscle out of my leg, and they pretty much go and test it, and they test out your DNA to see if there's some defects in your DNA, and they look for what's called red ragged fibers in your muscle, which basically means your muscles are breaking down, and there isn't anything they can do about it. Current medical technology doesn't have any way to stop the progression of the disease. There isn't any way to treat it, but all they can do is really manage the muscle pain. And so since my last video, I have gotten a an electric wheelchair. I'm sitting in it right now. You can't see it right now. I'll show it in future videos. Um, and for those of you that are my friends, I know maybe your initial reaction to it is, oh no, she's got a wheelchair now. That's not how I feel about it. I'm actually very happy about having a wheelchair because it helps me get around a lot easier. It takes a lot of relief. It's a lot of relief for me because walking around takes a lot of energy and makes things very, if you have chronic fatigue, walking around takes a lot of energy. So it's not that I can't walk or stand, it's that walking and standing both causes me a lot of pain, and it fatigues me even faster, so that I run out of energy even faster if I'm having to walk around a lot during a day. And I don't have a lot of energy to begin with as it is. So a wheelchair really helps to get me around the house, to do chores and stuff, maybe to go across the street to the grocery store, stuff like that. And by sitting in a wheelchair and moving around in the wheelchair, that helps me save energy, which means I have a longer day and I can reserve my energy for something else. So that's been really great to get my chair. It took a really long time to get it. From the beginning of applying for my wheelchair, it took about a year and a half to get it. It doesn't usually take that long, but I think that the pandemic kind of really slowed things down. But I just got it in March, and it's been a really wonderful tool. And one of the things I'd like to talk about is when you see someone in a wheelchair with a disability, my impression is that people tend to feel bad for the person in the wheelchair, but I think that non-disabled people need to remember that a wheelchair is just a tool. It is not creating any kind of suffering or anything for us. It is actually helping us get around, because without our wheelchairs or any kind of mobility device, our getting around is really limited. So honestly, a person with a disability is usually very happy when they get a new wheelchair or a new device that really increases their quality of life. And that's how I feel about my chair. I am thrilled to have the chair. So when you see me, don't feel bad that I'm in a wheelchair. Be happy for me, because it really improves my life to have it. And I'm sure anybody you know in a wheelchair will probably say the same thing. So anyway, I think that's about it for today. Going forward, I'll probably be talking a lot about what I'm experiencing. And just as a note, I want you to know I'm not saying these things to make you feel bad for me or to throw a pity party. That's partially why I took so long to think about what I wanted to say on this topic, because I didn't want it to be a pity party. I wanted it just to be informational, to maybe help my friends understand how to um, frame what's going on with me in it, and to help maybe people start to realize that disability isn't necessarily a bad thing. Of course, it's not something we strive to be. We don't want to be disabled, but once we are disabled, we're still human beings. We still have lives. We still get out and do things. And, the pandemic has made things harder for sure. I have been isolating for 2 years and am just now starting to get out and do things in the community again. So, but when you see me out and about, don't be afraid to come up and see me. I'm not, as far as I know, I'm not dying yet. I'm happy at the moment. I'm figuring out how to improve the quality of my life, and I want you to be a part of it. So anyway, I hope you all are doing well. Feel free to contact me. And I thought, if you've made it this far in the video, I thought I'd ask a question and say, I'm curious, when you see someone with a disability, whether you know them or don't know them, what are the thoughts that go through your head? Please be honest. I'd like to know. Put your comments in the YouTube video below so that I can hear your thoughts, and maybe I can address some of those thoughts if it makes you feel sad or worried or anything like that. Maybe I can give you a little bit of a viewpoint from a person who's disabled, uh, and maybe make you feel a little bit better about it. So Anyway, I love you. Feel free to contact me anytime. I've got lots of time on my hands these days, and would love to talk to you. So anyway, love you lots. This is Lady Lioness and Friends signing off.